Now it's time to build the walls on our main floor. We'll build this wall, which has a window in it, and this wall that has a door in it. Later we'll build a short partition wall around the stair opening. Notice that this construction drawing has a reference to another drawing. This is called a callout. A8 and B8. This is the complete set of plans for this project, which you don't have. This helps people create this model out of balsa wood and foam and other materials. But on page 8 we have drawing A and B that shows some additional detail here. Whenever you see this squiggly symbol, that means insulation in the wall between the studs and insulation in the attic here. We have two 2x6s at the top of the wall, a double top plate. We have a header here. We're going to assume those are made out of 2x10s. Let's assemble this wall separately from our model. If your model is open, we won't need it for a little while, so I'm going to choose File Save and then choose File New. Hover over the arrow and choose Assembly. We're going to make a separate assembly, and this will be called a sub-assembly. We can then add that entire assembly to our project. We'll build a wall just like the framers do, stud by stud. We'll build the walls separately and then put them in place, similar to what you see in this picture. Start by going to Place and look in the folder called Main Floor. This is a 9-foot ceiling. We can see that on our construction documents. Our close-up section view of the wall shows that from the bottom of the floor to the ceiling is 9 foot 1 1/8, or in other words, this is a 9-foot ceiling on the main floor. Click Place. We won't need redwood because we're not laying this down on concrete, but we do need a sill plate. When a bottom plate of a wall is attached to a floor, it's often called a sole plate, spelled like this. So open up 2x6 top plate and sole plate and place 3 copies of this into your new assembly file. And let's start with place 1 2x6 wall stud for 9-foot ceilings. And I'm going to start off with a speed video of how to assemble this together. We're going to start by placing 1 stud at the end here. So we'll start our wall like this with 1 stud here, a double top plate. This is a bearing wall, it will support the weight of the roof above, and our sole plate at the bottom. This is the floor plan that shows how to build our model. It says that this wall that we're working on has a window in it that is 3 foot 0 inches wide by 4 foot 0 inches tall. It's a slider type window. This is actually a mistake. This should say 2x6. You can see that these studs are wider studs than this 2x4 wall over here. They need to be spaced 16 inches on center, and that this is a load-bearing wall. It will carry weight from the roof. Tells us to center the window. We may not get it perfectly centered, but we'll come close to it as we build our 3D model here. Let's try it out. So first I'm going to work on spacing my studs 16 inches on center. And we'll have to put some short studs in here because of the window. I've got about 1.5 feet on this side and 1.5 feet on this side of the window, so I can put another stud here. Let's go place another 2x6 wall stud for 9-foot ceilings. And remember, when you space these studs, use your flush constraint, select the identical side of the stud, and then type 16 to get the correct spacing. Next, I'm going to place two, it's called 2x6 lower cripple studs for wall with window. Cripple studs are just short studs that are used above and below openings in walls. Same thing, we're going to place these 16 inches on center. And last, we have room to put one more stud here on our 16-inch spacing. Let's make it a full height stud again. And then we'll just let this be empty space. Rather than exactly figure out where the center of this window would be in this wall, I'm just going to place a trimmer here, which is a stud that's going to support part of the window frame opening. And we're just going to let the window sit right there. Might be a little off center, but it'll work fine. Go to place and 2x6 trimmer stud. Place one copy for now, and we're going to place it right next to this stud right here. So I'm going to switch back to the mate constraint. Oops, I forgot to hit apply. Switch back to the mate constraint and mate that side, not to the same side this time, but to the opposite face, like that. So those two studs are right together, and this is how it should look. This is going to support what's called a header that goes across. That will be above the window. Next, place the 2x6 for the windowsill and assemble it here. Whoops, I picked the wrong stud. So I'm going to come over here, select my third mate, right click and choose delete, grab my frame and move it, and let's try that one more time. This time I'm going to rotate my view so that I can press escape, select the correct stud side. Okay.